Welcome back to Studio Chatter. A parade brings out the best of a community, but a grand parade is something real special. Welcome the chair of the parade committee, Cindy Bradford, to our table.
Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Thank you.
The parade, I feel like it all centers around that.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
It does.
Maybe that and the rodeo
And
a
it's
little
a
bit.
big responsibility,
Huge.
isn't it?
I
It
can't
is a
even
lot.
fathom it.
Are you doing it all alone? So Blake, my husband, and I are doing it together, and then we have a chair, a co-chair, and then a, what is it they're called? The
Outgoing chair.
Outgoing, yeah.
So one
Yes.
cool thing about the committees, and a lot of our chairmans, like the executive committee for Fiesta Days, you rotate through. So when you're asked to help, you know it's a 3-year commitment. So you know that, like, okay, I'm not going to be stuck here for 20 years being
Right,
over
so
the parade.
don't, yeah.
So you come in and you kind of get your feet wet that first year, and then
As an assistant?
yeah,
Okay.
and then you're the chairman. That's what Blake and
Yes.
Cindy are this year, and then next year they'll be the outgoing,
Yes.
and
And
so
then
just
we'll
kinda
get to kind of help just next year.
yeah.
That's
So we've got our
nice,
feet
huh?
wet, now we're ready to go in, and then
And
we'll-
last year, how was that parade?
we didn't have one. Oh, so
that's so
sad.
hard.
So we were trying to, but it just didn't
didn't
work
work.
out.
Don't you usually start like right after? Like, do you start in August, September to start planning for the next year? Or do you wait until
No, January.
The
January.
Fiesta Days executive committee does, but the parade is more in January.
Yeah, we do a
'cause
meeting in January, the first week in January.
the website went live
Mm-hmm.
February 1st, so people can actually start applying to be in the parade February
February
1st. And
1st.
then what's the cutoff deadline, Cindy?
We just did it June 30th.
Okay,
we
so
just
there
did
Does
that.
it fill up pretty quickly?
Pretty good, yeah. It was full. I've still got a few that want to maybe get in, but we're at 110 right now.
Oh, goodness.
and you don't want you really don't want bigger, but then
But
there's
you kinda do.
procrastinators, and
Right.
like, oh, but yeah.
And it's like, it's Cosmo. Okay, yeah, we'd really like
That's
him.
right.
Sure, we'll push him
We've just
in.
like if schools, people that really, probably
The
maybe
schools
want to get in.
especially, yeah.
We've tried to involve them because that's
Okay.
good.
So do we usually allow kind of anyone in the parade, or is there like some pretty strict guidelines with it?
Well, yeah, we have to be able to entertain, have some type of entertainment.
Okay.
So we have commercial, non-commercial, politics coming in. We've got, the new.
A lot of people running for
Council,
city council.
yes,
I mean, there's
yes.
11 people campaigning. How many of them registered to be in the parade?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I can think of right
Okay.
now. So
Wow.
a good
That's
amount.
a good place to be to
Mm-hmm.
get name recognition.
Yeah, that's really
So
fun.
let's start off first thing, the 24th of July. How early is that, and what is that going to look like for you that morning?
I imagine she won't
Early
sleep.
morning. I bet
think
I
the
won't.
23rd to
I
the
know. I'm just
24th.
going to be setting out numbers at like 4 a.m.
Yes,
in the
you'll be.
dark. I'm going to be out with my flashlight, setting up numbers. No, it's probably going to be a really, I'm sure it'll be early morning for me.
Okay.
So.
And where do you guys all set up and meet?
So just right there at the middle school on Center, and then we place all the numbers and everything after that, and we'll probably start to setting things up the night before.
Well, there's so many things that are involved too, because you want the correct amount of spacing, and then there's so many announcer stands, and then everybody has to keep a certain width apart, and
Walkers compared to
Yeah, so we have to
cars
know
or
when they
floats.
apply, we have to know how long their vehicle is, so then we
Okay.
know how far to do the spacing for the numbers to line them up.
See, that part would stress me out.
And then she also has to, you can't put the baby contest winners next to the fire department.
No,
Because they
no,
would
you
cry.
can't.
They'll
Yes,
go out.
and the
Yes.
horses can't be by any music, or it'll scare the
Right.
horses. So you got to know where to place.
See, I would want to get out Hot Wheels cars and like put them in my living room and be like, okay, here's the babies.
And you have
How
to
far
place
away?
out like the nice floats. You want them spaced
Right.
out. You don't want all those together. And
Right.
the political people, you've got to space them out because you don't
And the
want
ball
two of
teams, 'cause
them.
they kind of get stuck in the
Yes.
back, and then we're
Yeah.
like, we're out of here. So.
And then bands, do we have other schools
Yes,
participating?
so the other high schools are doing it, and so you don't want those bands together. But we've tried to keep school stuff together, like all of Spanish Fork things kind of together, and then all of Maple Mountains together, and Salem.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
Just
their
they
little
kinda
town
have
kind of
their-
comes through
yeah,
together.
we try to kind of keep that together.
Do we have any balloons this year? Have we ever been able to do that?
No, but you know what we have this year is called Wings and
Wings and Wheels.
yes,
At the airport.
and they're going to fly through during the starting of the
Stop
parade
it.
this year.
That would be
Yep,
cool.
yep. So that should be really good.
That'll be really
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
is there always kind of a wish list that you put together as well? Because I know, like you say, for entertainment purposes, like the floats are always beautiful
I
to
know.
look at. And then the horses are always, you always want kind of a number of horses, and then everybody loves the music. So
The
trying to
beauty
get
queens, yes.
right. So to try and get like a certain number of that many, and then maybe cut off and
Yeah, so
hope
I
for,
know. I was going to say, you don't want we don't want all commercial. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what that's why we go through them and see, really, is it going to be a benefit for them to be in the parade? And so if not, then we would maybe not.
So if a
have them.
sports team wanted to enter, do they need to like be in a truck or, be on a float, or could they just walk?
No,
like
they can
what's
walk.
the, okay.
Yeah. So
you
the
can
main
walk
thing,
or
yeah,
drive.
and then like our big, huge thing, you guys, is safety. So we want to make sure that nobody is throwing things from the floats. Make sure that the kids stay behind the white lines. And so we have helpers that are along like the park area. That's the biggest spot, is around like by Barry's
Yeah.
right there. So we have usually if we have the football team. I'm not quite sure who we're going to have this year yet, but. And they stand right along there, so they make sure that when
Security
they take
guards.
that turn, yeah,
Perfect.
so the kids don't run out. But
Because
yeah,
they do when they know
so-
there's candy coming. I know,
know,
those kids just
they do.
Yeah, climb out there.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I know our committee will ride through on the golf carts to just like, stay back, stay back. You're just trying to keep those kids.
Yeah, we just went to the
Back.
4th of July parade, and it was like that. Like they had the white line, and
Yeah.
pretty soon those kids
Yes,
crawl
I
up.
know.
And
So do they have people coming by
They
saying,
did.
stay back?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
they sure did. Yeah. Especially with horses or vehicles or anything, it's you got to be safe. But I know those kids; they get so excited. It's all about the kids for the parades.
that's what I
yeah.
think too. Gathering
I
up
really
the
do.
candy. I just had someone emailing me and ask if they could just hand out, like have the people wear like a fanny pack with candy in it, and they could just hand it to the kids. And I said, perfect.
Yes, that's
That was
Right.
great.
Oh, that's a great idea. A little fanny pack.
Yeah, and just had
Awesome.
candy in it, and they can hand it.
Can they also toss out T-shirts or other items as well?
Yep, they just have to make sure that they're right by the white line, so they're not throwing it from the vehicle.
So they couldn't hurt someone or something. Okay, and what about squirt guns? Is that
No.
No. Okay.
No squirt guns.
No water.
No water. You've got some good questions there.
Right? I just remember years past that they would spray people.
I know, and
hated
you'd
that.
get soaked. It was like
What?
big soakers they were
Yes.
doing, and I'd be like,
Yes,
oh, I'm
those
soaked.
sports boys. They love to do
Yes,
that,
I know.
which sometimes it feels good, but
Yeah,
But
we
not when
can't
you're
do
like
that
ready for the
anymore.
day.
I know, you're like, well, I just did my hair, but
Yeah.
now I'm soaked.
Yep.
So no.
Well, I know, just because I help announce the parade for
Yes.
the station. So when they're filling out the applications, when they say keep it to 100 words, brief description, you tell
I
them
better
to
to leave it at 100.
Well,
yeah.
well, sometimes it's a challenge,
know.
trying to get all of the description in there, trying to explain everything, where the band's coming from or who it is, and trying to keep up.
And I
Sometimes
think
it's
our
good.
events coordinator is editing all that currently to kind of, if it needs to be shrunk a little bit.
Well, we always try to get
So
the
did
best we can. but-
Natasha and our producer Pete
Pete,
announce at from City Hall.
Correct.
And it's televised on SF-17, of course. We're lucky to have them. But a lot of residents may not know that we've also have 2 other volunteers. Bruce and Lana Hiskey are at the church on Center Street announcing. And then Brady and Ann Jex will be announcing at the church on Main Street. And they're not televised, but they're speakers, so everybody around
love that.
gets the
Can
same
hear.
description that Natasha and Pete are giving out, so they can see what business it is, or from what city, or what ball team, and can be involved with that. So
That's great.
if viewers want, more of that, like what's going on,
Who
kind
is
of
that?
choose maybe those church locations on Center Street or Main Street.
And what is kind of the parade route this year?
So we'll be starting up at the top of Center and just go around all the way down Center, around the park, and then all the way down to Cal Ranch. And that's where they just
And
come
that's
up.
where they'll end is Cal
Yeah.
Ranch. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're in the heat, it feels like 100 miles.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thank you for volunteering to do this.
thanks
Yes,
so
I
much.
love.
We
You know what? I
appreciate
just
it.
think it makes our town so great when, like you said, we have volunteers
Yes.
and make it such an enjoyable place to live.
And everyone
Yeah.
kind of
So-
just take their turn. It's
Yeah.
not forever. It's just
no,
a three short
and
years.
It's not bad. And I really love to be involved, and
Good.
so and
Yeah.
I think it's been great.
Good.
Everyone loves a parade.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Coming up
thank
on
you.
Studio Chatter, we'll take a stroll down the Fiesta Days memory lane.